All right, let's jump into it. So what you're looking at is Mycbdesk.com, and this is a product brought to us by the brand. It is incorporated all of our MLSs in which we operate that allowed us to have the data. So we do have 2 or 3 MLSs that don't like to play nice in the sandbox when it comes to data. So if you don't see your MLS on here, reach out and let me know, and I'll confirm if it's just missing by accident or if it's one of the ones that won't give us the data for the feed. So a couple different ways you can get to MarketQuest. You can scroll through all of your squares if you want to and look for it. You can come right here where it says find an app and type in MarketQuest, which is kind of a fun name if you ask me. Or up in the top box, you can do MarketQuest. The reason I like to point that one out is because if you do it in the top search, not only can you get to the app, but you also have the FAQs. So if you have any questions or your agents are asking questions, you can come over here, launch the frequently asked questions and get some answers. But we are going to jump into the app. So right here is MarketQuest version 2. Hopefully version 3 without the little quirks will be coming out soon. But right away you'll see this pop-up box and it asks you to select an MLS. Now one of the quirks is it's going to ask you again when you jump into one of the products. So let's show you what that looks like. So when you click the drop down, you'll see the MLSs in which we're associated with. And since I sit right here in Grand Traverse County, I'm going to go with Northern Great Lakes Realtors MLS. It's the one I know best. Click continue, and notice I do have that checked, but it does not matter. So right now it's going to ask you that every time, but hopefully eventually they'll get that fixed. And then click continue. 4 main products here. First, number 1 claims, market position, market trends, and market snapshot. MarketQuest is meant for the agents to have marketable material that they can use on social. They can put it into newsletters. We can use it on our office Facebook pages, a lot of different things that we can use with this data, mostly meant for marketing. It's not typically meant for data analytics. It's not as robust as what Michelle Mers is doing for us with trend graphics and broker metrics, but it is really good data straight from our MLSs that our agents can use in marketing. So let's just go through the list here. We'll start with number 1 claim. So when you click on that, you'll see our friendly little box popped up again, even though we had already selected it. So just go ahead and select that again. Click continue. You'll see it comes up with zip codes. So depending on which zip code you want, you can choose that option over here. So I'm going to go ahead and put in 49685. It's my home zip. Select that box. You can select multiple if you choose to. You can also do transaction sides. Maybe you want to just talk about listings. Maybe you just want to talk about sides or buy sides. Maybe you care more about units or volume. And then you can have your time period too. Last year, last quarter, year to date. You have price ranges, all prices or 1 million plus. And then you can view by brand, brokerage, or office. Brokerage will be anybody in that MLS that's included in our company. Office is just that specific office in which you're associated with in Dash, which is what feeds MarketQuest. I'm going to leave it wide open just with the zip code and click update. Now you'll see this is where it comes. So it gives me office last quarter for units, volume, and then by brand. So that would be any Coldwell Bankers, even if it's not associated with us. That's what it means by brand. So maybe it's Coldwell Banker Far Barn, which is just north of us here. That would be included in the brand numbers. So again, it's good data. Your agents can pick the one that makes sense to them, and then they can use this to market. You can see in the upper right, it says download data. You can download this as an Excel sheet or a CSV. Again, we're in number 1 claims. So jumping over to market position, so these same 4 options are the same ones that we saw on the dashboard. Again, our friendly little box pops up and we have to choose our MLS again. There is an open ticket on that, by the way, in case you guys are wondering. So we're in here in market position. No, guess what? We're number 1. Isn't that fantastic? This would be wonderful for our agents to use. Newsletters, social media, email campaign, pop it over to Moxie Present, whatever they want to use this for. So again, this is going to be able to give us our market share numbers stating our competition. You can show it as percentage by toggling that on and off. Pretty impressive, right? 16% market share, not too shabby. And again, you can do this by zip code. And then it does give you the options of single family townhome, condominium. Maybe you want to do some commercial marketing. Get the stats over to Lindsay and she can pop that into build out for you. And you can do transaction side just like you could before, units, volume, and again, your date range. So if we want to do year to date as opposed to last quarter and click update, It's going to give it through the last month in which the report was updated. So we can see this is only through March. So MarketQuest likes to do things by quarter. So even though you're choosing year to date, make sure that you're checking what the time frame is that MarketQuest has the data for. Still number one, you're through the first 3 months. This is fantastic. And again, it lists it out by your particular numbers as well. Just like we had the export on number one claims, we have that here, but look what it gives us. It gives us a fantastically branded document in which we can use in presentations or marketing. You can choose any of these things to include or not include. So obviously if you're running it for your office and not particularly you yourself as an agent, you can choose not to display the agent information. Obviously our agents are going to want to, so they're going to leave that clicked on. You also can choose landscape or portrait. So depending on the product in which you're using this information, you can make sure that it's formatted to how you want to see it done. And then click export, and it's going to pop over as a PDF into your system. So again, to get out of there, you can close that. And again, we're in market position here. So the next option here is market trends. Again, our friendly little box pops up just to make sure we're paying attention to life. And this is going to give us our trends. So this particular report is May 2022. But again, you can choose to filter however you want. Zip code, type, property type, and time periods. And you can also do price range. So if we have some global luxury agents that are wanting to market specific to global luxury properties, you can choose that price range as well. But you can see it gives us year to date, what May did, look back to the month prior to April, and then your monthly trends. We can do this by percent, we can do this by number, we can export this. Again, it gives you this report that is completely branded to the agent. It gives you really nice graphics, clean cut data. You can choose to uncheck any of the information that you don't want, so when you export it, you're getting what you want. And you also have that landscape and portrait option here as well. You also have that show agent information. So if you're creating this, then you want to share it with your whole office, maybe at a lunch and learn or at a sales meeting, you can uncheck the agent info so it's just branded to the office and not you particularly as the agent. Our last option here is Market Snapshot. Just like all the other reports. Oh, I was waiting for that. I thought maybe it was fixed, but it came back on me. There we go. You can do it by location, just like prior. Again, property type, all these features that you have, your time period, and your price range. And then once you click update, you'll get your market snapshot, which, there we go, it loaded finally. So you can see here, really easy graphic, pop right over to Facebook, Insta, however you want to use it. It can be completely branded to the agent, and it gives the information. What's the number one question people ask real estate agents? How's the market, right? So they always have to have this data quick at hand. So this is a really easy way that they can get it and then share it. Because also with Share Snapshot, you can download and you can see you have options here. You can do wide, you can do tall, you can do square, which is perfect for social media. You also can do postcard format. So maybe you pop this information over the marketing group, they send it to the printer, and you'll have postcards ready to go just like that. You can also edit your data points. So maybe you're like, ooh, that median list price is really good, but our sales price list ratio maybe is not so good. So you can edit those data points that show up. Maybe there's not one on there that you want to see. You can go ahead and select the ones that are available, which you can see these are grayed out and not available. And that's just because of the information that we're getting from that particular MLS. So again, when you click Share Snapshot and download, you also have the opportunity to email it. So you can email it to yourself, you can email it to a client, to an assistant, to a manager, whoever you want to email it to. Or if you do download, same as before, but this time it's going to give you an actual JPEG, where before the report was a PDF. This gives you the actual JPEG that you can then take over to social media or pop into Moxie Present or anywhere you want to use it. The last thing I want to point out is in the upper right, when you click on your headshot or your initial, depending if you don't have a headshot, you can go to settings. If you are operating as an ASC or an RSC and you want office information to load, there's our friendly box. You can choose to do that. So if you want your individual contact info to load, it should default to that, or you can do it to office. Now, depending on the access that you have in Dash is actually what filters, but you can have multiple offices to choose from if you have multiple offices in your Dash profile. Now, if any of this information is incorrect, this is filtering over from dash, which we all know feeds from account tech. So if any of this information has to be updated for your agents, we do need to do it on the account tech side, filter to dash, then it'll update Market Quest. Your agents also have the opportunity to change that background. So in that social media post that I showed you, it had the brand's night photo of the house. It's quite standard. They use it in a lot of their marketing. But your agents can choose a different photo that speaks more to their market, more to how they run their business, their marketing, however they want to do it for their branding. So to do so, you just, again, we're in our headshot, we're in settings. Come to background image, click the picture, and they can choose the other photo. Now, they're supposed to be able to load their own photo, and I see that's not working either. So hopefully we'll get an update on that. So I do have a ticket in for that annoying little box that keeps popping up, so I'll put a ticket in for this as well. Again, any of their links for social media, those all have to come over from Dash. Back to our dashboard. You can see you can launch into any particular one of these options, and when you're in one, they always come over here to the left so that you can toggle back and forth in between them without having to go back to your dashboard. So that is Market Quest. Again, this is the MLSs that are available. If you don't see your MLS in here, reach out. It could be that they don't want to give us the data, which some of them don't. For the most part, they do. But reach out if you don't see the one you want to see, and we'll figure out if it's just something that we've asked for and they won't give it to us, or if it's actually just a technical issue and it's missing. So what questions do you guys have for me today? Feel free to unmute or type them in the chat box.
Hey, Carrie, Tom here.
Hey, Tom.
I know years ago, Coldwell Banker didn't want, well, they didn't do it nationally on those comparisons with different companies to actually list a company's name on those graphs. Did they change that or not?
They did change that. So again, that's going to be kind of market driven. If it's not the culture of your market to do so, maybe take the names off before you use the data. But I do know locally here in Traverse City and our Southern Michigan offices, we do market the other brokerages' names on some of our market share data.
Okay.
Also, I will point out that even though I'm sitting here in Northern Michigan and we are DBA to Schmidt Realtors, this originally said Woodland Schmidt, which is our Southern Michigan DBA. So if you're not seeing the correct DBA on your info, reach out and we can have the help desk update that. Because we do have so many different DBAs, we're up to 13, sometimes the systems get confused. But it could just be my access as well. So if you guys are having any issues like that, feel free to reach out and we'll get that updated for you. Good question, Tom. Anybody else?
I'm going to add my peanut gallery comments like I cannot resist doing. This is awesome. This is my first time seeing this, Carrie, and one of the things that we talk about in the digital marketing team a lot right now is market stats, whether it's within Digital Accelerator or just as the team. This is the kind of stuff that in this market people are interested in. They hear rumblings of things going on, but they don't know what those rumblings are. These stats are huge, especially on a local level. So like, I'm going to be talking to our team about this. I highly recommend showing your agents this, especially how easy it is to get the assets made. This is very, very cool. So if your agents are looking for content, this sort of stuff, market stats, market trends, that is very hot right now.
Yes, thank you for that, JD. And again, content is king, and it's one of the hardest things to do when we're building out newsletters or if we're doing social media marketing, listing presentations. All of this data is fantastic. Now, again, we want to make sure it's accurate. It's coming over direct from the MLS, but it is a system that slices and dices data. So if you're seeing something, you're like, that just doesn't seem right, reach out to the help desk, reach out to us. We'll get it so that we feel good about the data. Great. Well, I'll do my 8-second pause. All right. Well, thank you so much for your time today. As always, the recording will go up in Schmidt Video Classroom shortly after. And I did just get a picture. Water Wonderland MLS. That's out of Central. I don't see it either, and so I will look into that and I will find out if it's just one that didn't give us the data or if it's missing on accident. So I'll reach out and let you guys know. And Judy, same with you, because I know Gaylord and Houghton Higgins are all part of that MLS, so I'll find out. So thanks so much for your time today, you guys. I appreciate it. Have a great rest of your week. Have a great weekend, and we'll reconvene next week. Same time, same place. Thanks so much. Bye now.